Well, hello. Let's finally set this dispute between two fragrances of the same name. And these are the two Parfum Eau Sauvage. Let's settle this once and for all. Are they different? Are they the same? Which one's better? I'm joking, of course, because you know me, I do not care. However, I cared enough to purchase, because I've had this for some years now. This is the older version. People are saying this is better, and I cared enough to purchase myself the newer version. There was also a discontinuation scare with this one. This is the 2017 version, and oh, it's lovely. There was a discontinuation scare. I'm still not sure if it's available, but I think it was just a scare. See, this is how it goes. They pull it off the website for some period. It just might appear again. We don't know. We don't know what's going on there. We should stop caring all that much about when things like this happen. But you know, if it happens to be one of your favorite scents or your signature scent or whatever, I can understand why this could be quite difficult for you. I consider myself very lucky to have found a bottle of the older version, just because, spoiler alert, but they are different. So I'm gonna write on the blotters so I don't get them mixed up, because sometimes that happens. And let me tell you, because I've been wearing them, you know, there's nothing new to me, and it's also not a new subject. People have been doing this sort of Eau Sauvage Parfum versus Eau Sauvage Parfum for years now on YouTube, so I'm quite late. However, it's my moment, so if you're curious about my impressions on this, stay tuned. If not, well, it's nothing new. And you already know the answer. That was quite the sales pitch. Now, the 2012 is, let's see, you know, I'm not going to talk about the smell anymore, because I think I talked about the smell quite enough. I think it's my fourth video on Eau Sauvage Parfum. It's one of my most favorite scents ever. I feel it's so beautiful how Demachy created this while going, because Eau Sauvage, the EDT, is one of my, it's a perfect scent, right? It's Rudnitska's from the 60s. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's everything, right? And Demachy kind of got inspired from that, because I have to say this again, this is not an eau de parfum version of the same scent. No, this is a reworked, an entirely new fragrance with maybe some familiar beats with the original Eau de Toilette. So it's not like buying L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Toilette and L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Parfum, which are basically the same scent with different concentrations and some slight, you know, variations in brightness and roundness. No, this is violently different from the Eau de Toilette, but it's still, it's a beautiful rendition, and some, as I said, some familiar beats you can find. And this is mainly why I love Eau Sauvage Parfum. It's because of the resin that they used. It's a beautiful, almost like an incipient, or I should say it is a chypre fragrance, right? It is a chypre because it has all the elements. It's got myrrh, oak moss, you know, it's got a resin, I shouldn't say myrrh, it's got a resin, oak moss, and a beautiful, you know, creates that beautiful contrast with a bergamot, which is quite floral. It also has a floral heart. There's a bit of hedione in this, just like in the Eau de Toilette, which is like, it's a beautiful flower trapped in amber. And, you know, at the end of the day, you could consider this an amber smell, an amber chypre. I think you could. And also, in the older one, spoilers, but in the older one, I think that vetiver plays a more central role, because it's more bitter, it's harsher, it's more pronounced, and, you know, gives it a certain dryness. I don't know how else to put it. Now let's smell the newer, the 2017 version, which unfortunately I'm going to have to spray it again, and I'll explain why. Because this one has such a beautiful opening, much more beautiful opening than its older counterpart, the 2012. The citruses in the new one are brighter, sweeter, it's more orangey. The bergamot is just so, it's so delicious. I don't know how they made this. I don't know how the reasoning, I don't care. It's just, it's sweeter and it's easier to love. When you spray, the initial sprays of the older Eau Sauvage Parfum are just harsh, beginning to end. You can tell it's a resin scent, and some people like this, including myself. I think to each its own. But the new one is just, you cannot help but love this opening. It's so gorgeous, and it's, you know, the color of it helps. Check out the difference in color. I bet you know this already. This is just like the color. This is greener, harsher, darker, while this one is brighter and happier. If you don't like that, though, let me tell you, in about, if I'm generous, in about half an hour, these will become the same scent. They're the same scent, you know, half an hour later. It's just the same. However, and it's quite difficult for me to explain this, because they're not the same scent. God, I'm rambling. When you wear this, or when I wear this, right? I spray it on, I get that beautiful brighter orange. It's so delicious, it's so yummy. After half an hour, it dies down, and I know I'm wearing Eau Sauvage Parfum. Doesn't matter which one, the old one, who cares? It's Eau Sauvage Parfum, no doubt about it. And that's it. You know, you're happy, you got the fragrance, everyone's, you know, none the wiser. However, if days later you pick up this one and you wear it, you realize how differently things stand. And I couldn't tell you why. You know, people have been trying to get to this mystery for ages. Is it the difference in the resins they used? You know, this one uses LME, this one uses myrrh. I don't know if in terms of ingredients this translates. This is in terms of notes. I don't know if in terms of ingredients this translates into the same problem. I have no idea. But it's just different. My guess is the vetiver. I think the vetiver is just more pronounced in this one. And vetiver, if you're not familiar with vetiver and how it performs or how it smells in raw form, you have to get yourself some you know, vetiver raw material and just smell it. This smells exactly like diluted vetiver with myrrh and bergamot. And mostly that's it. You know, that's not it, but mostly that's it. And the vetiver there is just so, because I've played with those ingredients myself. I've tried mixing them up in various concentrations. I've tried playing with it. And the vetiver is the one that stands out the most. And it's so syrupy, and it has this weird staying power, and it's so uniquely smelling. And if you like vetiver, do try to smell it in its raw form, because it's quite different, you know, from the way, you know, Guerlain uses vetiver. Vetiver by Guerlain is just vetiver reworked into something more manageable and likable. This type of vetiver is not necessarily immediately likable, you know. It's denser, it's bitter, it's harsh, it's so interesting, so interesting. But if you love vetiver, you grow to love this one as well. And I think this is the main reason, because when I smell the new version, when I wear it, It's just not the same, and it is exactly the same scent, but not quite. I think it's the vetiver. And why? Why would it be the vetiver? Well, probably, and I think, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I think that when creating this, I don't know the reasoning behind, reformulating and creating a different type of scent, but let me tell you, vetiver is not an expensive product. Vetiver is not something difficult to come by, as far as I know. But maybe, the perfumer just wanted to create something easier to like, and this is easier to like and easier to wear. This gives me headaches at some point if it's not the right moment to wear this, which is gorgeous, not dissing on the fragrance. This could go terribly wrong if sometimes it's a very busy day and this scent annoys me on myself. But this one is just, it's rounded, it's perfect, it's beautiful. I have to say another thing, this one projects like crazy. The old one, a lot more staying power, a lot more projection. For people who care about this one is, it's just milder, softer in all, forms, in all interests. But it's still a beautiful, gorgeous scent. So my conclusion for this is, that there isn't a winner. If you like the old one, it's so boring, such a boring video. I'm sorry, but there can't be a winner. I mean, for myself, if I had to choose, I would always pick the older one because it gives me that satisfaction of owning something so coveted, so treasured, so sought after by a lot of people. And that's the only reason, to be honest. So my answer is having both, unfortunately, which isn't a great answer. Sometimes I do need this harsher fragrance. I do. I love the fact that I own it. I love the fact that I have a 200 huge bottle of this. This one is fine. It's completely fine. You can wear this and it's a beautiful, gorgeous scent. The idea is the same. It's the same type of chypre amber. This one is even more the floral heart, just like in the EDT. I think it's truer to the origin. It's beautiful florals in the middle, and it's just that vetiver is more subdued. It's sweeter. It's more silky. I could wear this to bed. I could wear this as a soothing scent. Well, this one would keep me up all night, which sometimes you need. You need something that keeps you up all night. All right, so I don't think there's anything else I could tell you about these two fragrances, and honestly, I'm glad I have both. And I reach out for this a lot more than I would have expected because, as I said, it's just so much easier to wear. So if you can, and if you can find this newer one, because I don't know its status, but if you can find it, do give it a try if you haven't. It's a beautiful, retro kind of scent. It might be interesting for your nose. And with that being said, if you have any other questions, do let me know. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.